I don't think I've ever seen anyone who felt so devastatingly betrayed, upset, let down.
Brexit effect goes deeper than we thought. 3 stories of couples torn apart, and the unanticipated impact on counselling.
There will be no downside to Brexit at all, and considerable upside. No downside to Brexit at all, and considerable upside.
But wait until you see the stats that we uncovered relating to divorce in a post-Brexit world.
The story you tell is incredibly sad and heart-rending for you. And there's very little I can say on that side of it.
I appreciate that.
Meet Ian, a passionate Remainer, whose journey uncovers the unexpected strain of Brexit on him, his wife, and their once solid marriage. Ian, a passionate Remainer from the get-go, thought he and his wife were on the same page when it came to politics. They built a life together, raising their child, and weathered various challenges. Ian, a dedicated maths teacher, was deeply affected by the Tory government's educational policies when they first came in, so much so that he quit. Then, in 2016, came Brexit. The couple's connection to Ian's wife's parents, who held right-wing views, inadvertently brought their differences to light. A fateful visit to her parents' house on the eve of the referendum revealed a stark divide in the family. Her parents proudly announced their support for Leave, leaving Ian stunned and disheartened, and the next day he woke up to a changed landscape, with Leave winning. Long after the vote, Ian's wife confessed to voting for Leave, and perhaps more astonishingly, supporting the Conservative Party. For Ian, this revelation was a gut punch. It assumed their shared values extended to politics, and her admission revealed a chasm of difference that had been festering beneath the surface. The disclosure was a turning point that led to a cascade of events, ending in divorce proceedings. Ian realised that their marriage had suffered not just due to political disparities, but also from the lack of a true understanding and connection. Reflecting, he recognised that their division extended beyond politics. Despite the heartache and turmoil, Ian emerged from the experience a changed man.
However, I have come out as a better person. I'm more tolerant now. I'm kinder and more grounded. But I'm still convinced to this day that she voted wrongly. That vote has left a scar, but I have no regrets about how it played out in my marriage. I regret marrying that person, although I've got 2 beautiful kids who I love very much. I have a German partner now. When we go on holiday together, she goes through the EU passport control section at the airport, and I have to go through a separate section. I have to wait for her on the other side. My partner finds it a bit upsetting. It makes me feel as if we're different when we aren't. It's a horrible, horrible thing.
There will be no downside to Brexit at all, and considerable upside.
Michael Gove and his wife Sarah Vine have just announced they are divorcing. The Cabinet Office Minister, Michael Gove, and his wife, according to the statement that we've been sent, a joint spokesman for the couple saying they have agreed to separate and they are in the process of finalising their divorce. That is the phrase that is being...
That's right. Sarah Vine, married to Michael Gove, one of the prominent leaders of the Brexit campaign, came out and put part of the blame for the divorce on Brexit, and stating on record,
"Another huge strain on the marriage. My whole life fell away. I didn't speak to many close friends, and that was another huge strain on the marriage. Marriage can take strain, but it cannot take that much."
It also transpired that Sarah was godmother to one of David Cameron's children, and they're currently not on talking terms.
There will be no downside to Brexit at all, and considerable upside.
Now, I've had to do a little bit of editing on this due to copyright, but that is a doctor meeting Jacob Rees-Mogg and is about to explain to him how he ended up going through a divorce, all because of Brexit.
I very naively voted to leave, and my wife casually asked me one evening what my voting decision was, and I'll put it into a very succinct situation. I told her what I did, and it was like lighting the blue touch paper and standing back. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone who felt so devastatingly betrayed, upset, let down. And we've got 2 daughters, 15 and 18 at the moment, and as far as I'm concerned, that was the end of a very successful marriage.
Now, I've got some stats to show you, but have a listen to Mogg and his reaction to what the man has just told him.
Do you regret the way you voted?
I regret it so much. It breaks my heart talking about it.
Jacob.
Well, The story you tell is incredibly sad and heartrending for you. And there's very little I can say on that side of it.
I appreciate that.
There will be no downside to Brexit at all and considerable upside.
You might go, X, this is just 3 stories, there can't be a pattern here. Well, interestingly, I've got a law firm and a charity, as well as some horrific statistical data and maps showing that actually Brexit's had a big impact. In 2016, November, The Guardian started running an article saying that Brexit may be the final straw for some couples, and that was coming from divorce lawyers, in particular Resolution, a law group that specialises in divorce. And the chair of Resolution, Nigel Shepherd, had this to say in the article.
We have come across a number of families in this country who are splitting up because one of them voted differently to the other in the referendum. They fell out in a big way because one voted for Remain and one for Leave. I suspect that was unlikely to have been the sole reason for divorce. But we have heard of cases from a number of our members. It was a really divisive campaign. It pushed some couples over the edge. It was the last straw that made them think we are really incompatible.
But X, that's just a bunch of lefty lawyers, isn't it? They're all saying this just because they don't like Brexit. Well, there's a charity called Relate, and they beg to differ as well. They surveyed over 500 of the councillors in 2016, and they came back with astonishing figures suggesting that 1 in 5 were complaining about Brexit.
Arguments over Brexit, who to vote for, and other topical debates can bring up underlying issues within the relationship, as they highlight where couples have a lack of shared values. Our values are hugely important to us. So when our partners don't agree with them, it can feel quite concerning. Despite this, some difference in beliefs and values can be a healthy thing, as it can help to keep things interesting and help us to see things from a different perspective. In many cases, Brexit has simply added fuel to an existing fire. Couples will mention how their partner voted in the EU referendum as an example of how you never listen to me. I don't feel understood. You don't value my opinions. You always want to do your own thing.
Now, is there any statistical data to prove this? Well, there's data showing the number of divorce rates have gone up, but we could also put that down to COVID, and there's plenty of examples from around the world where this has taken place. But there is some data I don't think anyone's put together before. Again, this isn't it, but it's interesting to see that unreasonable behaviour has increased as grounds for divorce. But again, that doesn't really link it to Brexit. What links it to Brexit is some geographical data I found linking Brexit voting patterns to divorce patterns. Initially I was looking at voting patterns relating to poverty within the UK. This is from 2016 from the Express, and I couldn't find any correlation with that and the UK voting pattern for Brexit. But when I started researching for divorce patterns in the UK, I came across something that was frankly shocking. The divorce pattern that we're seeing, the darker the blue, the more likely there is to be a divorce. And I then superimposed that with Brexit voting patterns, and you can start to see that there is a huge correlation between the two. Over in the east, in the north of Norfolk, in Wales, and in Cornwall, we can see there is a distinct pattern where if you voted for Brexit, there is an increased likelihood that you are going to get divorced.
There will be no downside to Brexit at all and considerable upside.
It's not all doom and gloom. For those that did actually vote Remain, well, the chances are you're more likely to have a happy marriage. And why? I don't know. But boy, is it an interesting statistic to have a look at and debate over. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you got this far in the video, you should definitely hit that like and subscribe button. It all helps to grow this channel. And to all of my Patreon and YouTube supporters, thank you so much. You guys are just awesome. And without your help, this channel would definitely struggle to keep on going. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.